Cat Williams said on Club Shay Shay,
all lies will be exposed. That's all.
We found that there are so many OJ Simpson, Nicole lies about blood being taken, blood being found.
OJ is guilty. I don't think anyone doesn't think he's guilty.
Of course he's guilty.
I want to hear about the White Lotus.
The big thing was after White Lotus wrapped, Walton Goggins and Amy Lee Wood, they had an on-set romance.
Let's go back to the Jamie Foxx thing.
I got word back that he was partially blind, partially paralyzed, and I told that story on my show. His daughter went after me, and then Jamie Foxx has admitted in his comedy special that he was...
Somebody did just file a suit against Puffy. She didn't report the abuse because she was scared of violating her NDA.
The NDAs is such a powerful tool for them to get away with murder.
Okay, AJ.
Oh, I did. You think I don't know that? You think listen, if I had his money, you'd marry me a year ago, so stop it.
That's true.
Yeah,
that is true. I love you so much.
I'm very happy for you. I'm very happy. But I'm very confused because not the last time, but back in September when there was the hurricanes down south, and I was in Palm Beach, and I'm like, yeah, I'm here. And you were like, stay at my house. I got 5 bedrooms. Yeah. I'm like, all right, maybe next time. Then a week later, here's my ring. I'm engaged. And I'm like, Jesus Christ.
First of all, the time lapse, you're getting completely wrong.
Am I wrong? Okay.
Yeah, but when the hurricanes happened, I wasn't asking you out on a date or anything.
No,
I was still
know
dating.
that.
But you can always come stay with me. I was dating him, but we got engaged in March, the end of March.
I know. It happened pretty quickly. That's great.
You want to know what's funny? I was out in LA and I think I talked to you and I was trying to see you and see Jillian.
Right, Jillian. Yeah.
And I was going to go on Armie Hammer's podcast. He canceled at the last minute and I stayed I was still in LA for that day that I was supposed to see him. Dan, my fiance, surprised me because we had nothing to do. We went to Santa Barbara and he ended up doing it there because he just had no plan, but it was burning a hole in his pocket, the ring.
Well, how long were you dating him before that?
Well, I'd met him 3 years ago.
Oh,
and
okay.
We were only dating for 8 months.
That's pretty cool, though. But you guys knew. You could tell. You felt it.
When you know, you know.
I know. What I'm saying? I get it completely. Yeah. I'm very happy for you. Very happy. Very good.
You. I appreciate that. All right. Well, I'm so glad that you are back on Misunderstood. I always love having you here. I keep begging you to go on your show, but I'm not there yet.
You'll be there next week. I was gone in Chicago for 3 weeks. Then I was in Vegas for 2 weeks. I'm home now. You'll be on. Don't worry about it.
But Scandal is a bitch. I'm Scandal. I mean, I know. And I'm a bitch. I should be,
Yeah, you are both. You are both of those things. Yeah. Fame is a bitch. Rachel is a bitch. But you're not bitchy, but you've had a bitch of a life. You've had a bitch of a life. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love that about you. It's tough.
Thank you. I appreciate that. All right. So let's get into all the gossip that you're so good at sharing. First of all, let's go back to the Jamie Foxx thing.
Well, Jamie Foxx, way back when that happened, I think 2 Mays ago, when he was in the hospital, I had a source of mine who was actually in his room in Chicago when he first fell into his coma. And I got word back that he was partially blind, partially paralyzed. And I told that story on my show. And his daughter went after me. This white man said lies about my dad. We've been playing pickleball, just complete lies. So I stuck to my story because I knew my source wouldn't lie to me. And then it went all over the world. It was crazy. And then Jamie Foxx has now admitted in his comedy special that he was partially blind, partially paralyzed. So I was right about that.
And basically in a coma, right? For 20 days?
Yeah, he was in a coma, but he said he fell into a coma because his friend gave him an Advil because he had a headache. First of all, no man takes 1 Advil. I take 5. I know women who take 6 when their period is too painful. So 1 Advil is bullshit. And if it was Advil, he would have filed a lawsuit against them. He's now said, no, that's not what happened. The other rumor was P. Diddy tried to kill him. And I said, that's a bunch of shit. And last week, Jamie Foxx said, that didn't happen. Diddy didn't try to have me killed. My story was from the beginning, he had a vaccination for that movie, Back in Action, with Cameron Diaz, which bombed. He didn't want to have it, but he had to have it. and there was some kind of reaction that put him in that position he was in. So everything I said was right. Everything. That's it.
So, but is he still saying that it's from the vaccination, or he's saying that it was from
he's never admitted that. I don't think he might one day, but for some reason, because he's Hollywood and there's the whole liberalism thing in Hollywood, and I don't think those people will ever admit that the vaccine hurt them. But I had Johnson & Johnson. I had COVID, very bad, intensive care, pneumonia, almost died. I got the shot, and I've had COVID 5 times since then. So It's all bullshit. We're now understanding everything we thought and felt. We were all right. The government lied. Doctors lied. Listen, it's a revolution. Cat Williams said on Club Shay Shay, 2024 is the year of truth. Well, 2025 is going to be even more truth because everybody has been lying to us, from the media to the medical profession, you name it. We've been lied to for years. We had no idea what was going on. And now we're starting to understand just how much we were messed with as a people.
Right. It's interesting because I feel like 2025 into 2026 is going to be a year of where we're reconsidering things like that we didn't know the real story behind, whether it's the vaccination, the disease, and then people, right? Because you see people getting all these documentaries like Jamie Foxx about what happened to Justin Bieber, and then all the way back, obviously we talked about, I think I had Lorena Bobbitt on my show. There was a documentary about her. People from the past are getting a lot of recognition, and people want to hear their story more than being interested in people of right now. So I find that interesting.
Like the Menendez brothers, right?
Yeah.
I covered their trial as a journalist, and I remember, I think it was Eric, one of them was on the stand, and I watched him, and his vein was popping out of his head while he explained how hard it was to live with his father and mother. And as a guy who studied acting and method acting for 5 years in New York, I said, he's not faking this. You can't fake that vein pop out of your head. He went through some shit. But back then, nobody would ever believe a father molested their sons. That was like unheard of. But these kids had to live with that. So even that's been a lie. There's so many. We found out there are so many O.J. Simpson, Nicole lies about blood being taken, blood being found. You know why the truth's coming out? This guy, Thug Life, Trump. This guy, who, by the way, I've been punched out and pepper sprayed because I wore this shirt 2 times. People got me.
For people that can't see what we're looking at, he has a shirt on that says Thug Life, and it's a picture of Donald Trump.
He's like a thug with high socks. But the point is, whether you like him or not, he's been very forthcoming and upfront about things, and he says what he says. And the truth is like a box of chocolate. You can't wait to rip into it. And now that we're all telling the truth, people are going bananas about, oh my God, now I can tell my story and people will believe me.
Right.
Before that, nobody believed you.
Right. Okay, wait, let's go back to the Menendez brothers for 1 second. Do you think that even if they were molested and all this stuff happened, that what they did to their parents, was enough for just being in jail for 35 years or whatever it is? Do you think they should get out now?
I think there are people who did things that were worse than them that are out already. But look, when you read the gory details of reloading a shotgun and going back to kill your mother, shoot the father in the face, they're eating ice cream. Of course, it's gory and disgusting, but I was never abused as a child. I've never been abused, period. I know many women who have, and they all tell me if they met their abuser, they'd wring their necks and kill them. So I just feel really bad for them, and I believe their story from the get-go. And now that we understand what abuse is like, and sexual abuse is it's like every day there's a story about sexual allegation. Yeah. So I believe them, and I know it's gory, but they were kids. They were privileged kids. They did what they did. But I think all the years they spent in prison and the way they've acted since they've been locked up, which is very helpful to inmates and trying to make them have a better life, I think they've served enough. Let them out for sure.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think that the downfall, I don't not believe them about what happened. What I think is hard to stomach is that they killed the mom also, and then the reloading of the gun that you said, but also how they reacted after. Pretended it wasn't them, went around and bought a car, watches, whatever they did. So it seemed like it was for money, and it seemed like they got caught. So then they had to be remorseful and act like the victim. So I don't know. I didn't love that, but
I don't either.
If they get out, I'm not going to have a problem with it either. So
I'm not going to have a problem, and I'm not going to have a party. I just think like, okay, 35 years.
Yeah.
It's an awful thing.
There will definitely be a new docu-series.
Oh,
clearly.
For sure.
I've been trying to get on the woman, I forget her name. It's somebody with a T, who's married to one of them now. She married him in prison.
Oh, God. Yeah, really? I don't know her name.
What kind of a person, and I feel like this is a very misunderstood person, what kind of a person is so infatuated with someone in prison, they start writing them letters, and then you get to a point where you get married to somebody in prison? I don't get it. I want to know all about it.
I don't get it either. But, thank God for women, because so many men are fucked up, even if they're not in prison. We're just a mess. We're a disaster. And the fact that women can love us, and women love to be fixers. They love to fix their man and make him better, which is a great quality. And I've had women in my life, and they've done their best to fix me. Not everyone was successful. My last girlfriend tried, but I was still an asshole, and it didn't work out. So these women who marry inmates, first, they're very lonely, and they just need to reach out and speak to somebody. And, guys, I don't want to say criminals, but men who are lonely seem to be very attractive to many women. These are not women you'd find as an Instagram model. Don't get me wrong. They're not like beauties. They're not going to get a supermodel, but there's somebody out there that wants to provide them some kind of care and treat them right and love them. And that's the part of life that I go, isn't that wonderful that there's still somebody out there for these guys, or any murderer out there, or whatever they've done.
I think these women know that these men, that they're not going to have a lot of competition to get the man. So maybe it's easier for someone who's having a harder time. Wait, I want to go back to OJ for a second. I was scrolling through Instagram yesterday, and I saw Bob
Shapiro?
Evan?
Oh, yeah.
Talking about Furman planting the glove and saying he wants to ask Furman if he really planted the glove. Okay, let's stop there for a second. Who cares? Yes, he fucked up the trial. OJ probably got off because of it. Yes, that got Furman's probably, he's riddled in scandal. That to me is not the point. OJ is guilty. I don't think anyone doesn't think he's guilty. You correct me if I'm wrong. But the police screwed up by trying to plant evidence or not. But how is Bob Shapiro, is he mentally insane that he's still asking that question? He can't honestly think OJ didn't do it. AJ.
By the way, when I dated Paula Barbieri, OJ's ex, and she kept calling me OJ while we were dating. So that's a whole different thing. But you know what? I love Bob. I know him. I've called him when I needed help with a woman I was dating who was going through some shit. He's a really good guy and a great attorney, but he's got to be 80 years old now. He's still out there. I just think he likes the notoriety and love the fact that all these years later he's still mentioned and spoken about. And he does make great points about blood on the back gate that was found, but also had that chemical that people use to preserve blood samples while they're in a lab for a while. And there's so many let's not even forget that OJ handed Robert Kardashian the bag of his luggage when he got out of the car that first day, and Kardashian took that luggage and walked out of frame, and that was allegedly the bloody clothes that OJ had on the night of the murder, and no one's ever found that bag. There's a documentary about it that a buddy of mine produced, and you can see it in the video. He gets out of the car, the cops are there at the gate, and they think it's just luggage. And Bob says, "You got it, OJ? Thank you." And he walks out of frame with a bag, which I presumably think was bloody clothes from the murder, as he got back from Chicago. I like Bob. I don't know. I mean, he won the case, but there are things about it that were very wrong. Nothing's going to happen. It's just barking in the night. Some people who have notoriety want to keep barking out there, and keep their name alive. I don't know, but nothing's going to happen. It is what it is. There are still people who think that OJ had a partner named Charlie Ehrlich who helped him commit these murders. That's a big story, too. I talked to a private eye. You know the guy I'm talking about, Chris Todd. Tells that story all the time, you know?
Yeah, and for people listening that are interested to go down that rabbit hole for a minute or less, explain that theory.
The theory that was presented to me, which I ignored for weeks, was like OJ had help. He had a friend named Charlie, and Charlie's mentioned in the alleged suicide note that people read they read on TV that he had help, that he drove the Bronco, and he had helped OJ kill both Nicole and Rob. I don't know. My friend, the private eye, says it's conclusive proof, but again, it's
where is this guy Charlie now?
I don't know where he is now, but he was around enough to file a lawsuit against Chris because he didn't like his name being mentioned. But you know what? OJ did it. All OJ didn't do was leave his Heisman Trophy in the bushes. As I've said in the past, you look at Paula Barbieri, who I ran with, broke up with you, and you call her that night, you find out that she's with Michael, Bolton. Then you know your wife is banging Marcus Allen, and he's driving your old car. And then there's a recital for your daughter. You get back, everybody was doing blow back then. You get back, there's no seat for you. Your best friend is banging your wife, driving your car. There's all this shit in your head. Somebody is going to get hurt that night. And because OJ went rabid, it went way too far, obviously, and he did what he did. But of course he's guilty. I'll never not think he's guilty. Of course he's guilty.
Right. Okay. Let's move on. I want to hear about the White Lotus drama.
Oh, yeah.
First of all, let me just say,
go ahead.
I loved every season of White Lotus. Yeah. I like this one the best.
Did you really?
I did.
Oh, okay.
I followed it much like the other two were much more similar. This, to me, I loved how the characters came back in. I kind of forgot what happened in season 2. Yeah. I loved it. I thought it was really good. I was bummed when it was over. It took me a while to get into the characers,
right?
But then I got into it.
Yeah. Well, they really had to spend a few weeks letting you understand every character. What's his name? Mike White. Mike White does a great job of giving everybody a storyline.
Developing them out.
You got to stick with it. But the big thing was after White Lotus wrapped, there was that relationship between Walton Goggins and Amy Lee Wood, the chick who has buck teeth to the point where I think she's going to run away with a family of beavers and build a dam someplace because she's adorable, she's cute, but those teeth, I don't know what she's thinking. So everybody thought, they're so cute. Women, maybe not you, but women got so involved with their affair, their relationship. Walton Goggins was very distant in the series, and she wanted him so bad. After the series wrapped, he unfollowed her, she unfollowed him. They didn't speak about each other, and I found out from a source of mine. Oh, also, there were so many postings that Walton did of his wife on it about how great his wife is and the best life, and I'm like.
Okay, so wait, people that
guys don't talk that way.
People that are kind of following, but not really. You're talking about the couple, the girl with the teeth, and the guy who she was involved with in the show. Yeah. That's who we're talking about.
Yeah,
and he's married.
Yeah.
Okay,
so,
I didn't know that.
And after the series wrapped, and there were these rumors about why is he not following Amy Lee Wood? Well, the wife. Okay, 7 months in Indonesia it's a rough time. It's hard, but it's also beautiful. They had an on-set romance, Walton Goggins and Amy Lee Wood, that I found out from a source on the set. And look, she's a young chick. She thought it was love. He knew it was a fling. On top of that, he's a very method actor, which I studied for 4 or 5 years in New York. He wanted to create that better dynamic between them and all that crap. When the series ended, he called it off. But everybody on set, from Sam Rockwell, Leslie Bibb, all these people who are friends with Walton and his wife, they were so uncomfortable because they knew he was banging this little girl. And the wife kind of figured it out. Once she figured it out, he had to cop to it. And that's when she put her foot down and said, I don't want to hear her name. Don't follow her. Don't mention her in interviews. So she did what she could as a wife. And he did what she asked. But now I know for a fact there was a flake. On top of that, Parker Posey, who I loved in that show, the mother with the two kids and 3 kids, she was also a big bully on set. She was telling the daughter, the actress who played her daughter, how she should look better on screen, look sexier, wear these kind of clothes. She was judging Patrick Schwarzenegger's acting. No one really was happy the way she was acting. But the big story was Walter Goggins and the fact that there was even like a scuffle / kind of a fist fight between him and one of the male actors on set because it got very awkward toward the end. But I've been on movies for four weeks. 7 weeks in Thailand, 7 months in Thailand. Oh my God. Of course there's going to be affairs and interactions between people that can be explosive and that's what happened. So when you see Walton Goggins now on SNL or other shows, great actor, just understand he's another Hollywood asshole who did what he did. Whether he cops to it or not, I don't know. But Amy Lee Wood, I hope she rebounds from this. She's cute. I think she's adorable. She'll get work. I'm sure she already has movies lined up.
Now that she's known for her teeth, do you think she'll leave them or she'll get them fixed?
She has to get them fixed. It doesn't work. They're too.
So it's not a Jennifer Grey. What is that her name? Jennifer Grey.
Yeah, with the nose job.
Up her nose, and then now she never got work after that.
I didn't know it was Jennifer Grey. It was such a radical change. But Amy Lee Wood needs her teeth filed down. Her sister has the same buck teeth. It runs in the family. Her father was Bugs Bunny.
They must have sucked their thumb.
Yeah. That's true. That's the old story. Remember that?
Yeah.
But yeah, look, good actress, very cute. I mean, on a hot show, of course she'll work. But if I were her, I think she's already been told, let's just shave those down. I got a guy on Wilshire Boulevard who'll do it for, I know they will.
Exactly. We all have a dentist who will do it.
You got a guy. We all have a guy.
We all have a guy, sweetheart.
We got a guy, yeah.
I don't want to talk about this long, but let's talk about the Justin what's his name? Baldoni thing. Who's winning in that now?
Well, I think public opinion-wise, Justin Baldoni's winning by a mile. Blake Lively has been exposed to be a bitch and to be over-exaggerating in how she presented her story.
This has ruined her career, don't you think?
Yeah, it's definitely hurt it. And it's probably not going to hurt Ryan Reynolds. And even if it does, he's made generational money, so it ain't the worst. He owns a phone company. He's fine. But the fact that what they tried to do to Baldoni, and now that we know how bitchy Blake Lively was and how the things she presented as truth are now false, and on top of that, Taylor Swift, who was her bestie, wants nothing to do with her anymore. And that's bigger than her losing the court case.
Oh, yeah.
Taylor Swift, you tell me, all right? Let's say you have 2 children, 2 daughters, and you have 2 sisters too. Why would you make Taylor Swift the godmother of all your children and not your sisters first? I think that's so weird that she's godmother of all the kids. It's a superficial Hollywood bullshit move. You got 2 sisters. They've got to be godmother to your first 2 kids. Taylor Swift has had it with her. She's lost her as a bodyguard or as a friend. And Blake Lively is going to. I think there'll be a settlement before the actual case happens in court, and Baldoni will win, and this will do more for Baldoni's career moving forward. And Blake Lively will definitely be hurt. I
totally agree with you.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't really care about Justin Bieber, but can we just talk about this for 1 second? How did his wife, who really was a nobody and stalked him for years, just sell her skincare line for $1 billion? Do you even think that's true? No, I don't. Every newspaper prints it. I don't believe the $1 billion. I know she sold it. I've never heard of Rhodes. Never. I'm a female. I've never heard of it. You know every beauty product. To me, you and what's her name on Real Housewives? The chick who was nuts. I love her. She's crazy. The New Yorker, the girl who had, Ramona?
No, the better one. The one
Bethany.
Bethany. To me, Bethany and you would know every beauty product, every best bag to wear. I know. And then Hillary, what the fuck? What's Rhodes Cosmetics?
Never heard of
Nobody knows. They blow up the figures like they did with Kylie about she made $1 billion. No, she didn't. Look, she made a lot of money, but she needed to because she saved Justin Bieber because he was in bad financial straits, according to Harvey Levin, through his Scott Storch,
Right,
and other people. Look, Justin Bieber is going through such shit because he was definitely abused by P. Diddy.
Yeah.
His name will probably not be mentioned, but leading up to that, he was very nervous about it. He dresses like shit. He's smoking weed in front of there was a story yesterday, smoking weed. His newborn is the same couch as he was. He's not a father figure at all. He's lost his mind, very sad. And now suddenly she blew up as the billionaire wife. I don't get it. I think she's very pretty. I'm happy for her, but a billionaire? Bullshit. I'll never believe that.
Yeah, I don't understand that relationship at all. And he just looks worse and worse and messier.
He does.
And
looks
messier.
Horrible.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's get into his relationship with Puffy, because I do think it's interesting that his name, I agree, his name will probably stay out of this. But like, how? I want to hear the juicy stuff with like all these people that are so fucked and whose lives are messed up. Like, I wish someone like Justin would come out and be like, let me tell you what happened. You know, but no one's going to really get that honest.
No, it's career suicide, and it's also very personal. But Puffy's not on trial for that. He's on trial for specific things, and that's why he really could walk. Because the things he's on trial for are not necessarily what we all would love him to be. Like, yeah, he had crazy parties, baby oil with drugs in them, and treated his assistants like shit. Cassie was like a whore that guys could have sex with, and he was banging other girls. So it's a big, crazy mishmash of a man who just was very powerful, hell-bent on being powerful, having sex when he wanted. The only thing they can get him on, I think, is transporting girls across state lines. The other stuff to me is like, okay, he lived crazy. It's not illegal to have baby oil on your walls. It's not illegal for girls to leave their menstrual blood on your sheets in a hotel. But yeah, he treated people like shit, but he's not on trial for that. He's on trial for different things. I think if they get him, it's only going to be on the transportation of females state to state. That's the only, that's it. Otherwise, it's just a bad guy.
I haven't looked at the official things that they're charging him for, but like this thing with Cassie, she already settled with him and she got like $20 million or whatever it was. So could he actually be on trial for what? Abusing her in the hallway of the hotel?
No, she got $20 million from him and $10 million from the hotel. She got $30 million. And watching her testify to me was like, no one feels sorry for her. She's got $30 million in the bank. She's pregnant. God bless her for testifying. She's a beautiful girl, but her texts and her emails are her loving the freak offs, begging, when's the next one? I'm ready, baby. I'm going to go here and ask so-and-so. She liked them. I mean, the proof's there. It doesn't matter if he called her a bitch or he treated her like shit. She wasn't angry about the freak offs. And all we kept hearing was all these celebrities are involved. Wait till you hear. That's not the lawsuit either. The case. The case is what happened to these women. So far, no underage girls have spoken up on the stand. You've got Cassie, who agreed to the freak offs and was okay with them. So I'm not sure. And we got the other story that happened today or yesterday of his old chaperone, chauffeur, assistant, Bentley Farnsworth, whose real name is Derek Watkins, saying, Puffy liked young girls and this and that. Okay, well, where are they? Did they file a suit?
And also, somebody did just file a suit against Puffy and against Farnsworth, or whatever the hell his name is.
That just happened,
recently in the last couple of days, saying that he raped young girls, underage girls, and boys. We'll see what comes out of that, because I think it was anonymous again.
Right.
But also today on the stand, and I think it's a continuation of yesterday, his assistant was on the stand who I don't think we really know their real name. They go by Mia.
Mia, right.
And she is saying that what I found the most interesting thing she said is she didn't report the abuse because she was scared of violating her NDA, essentially.
I know.
And I thought that brought up a really interesting conversation point about NDAs and what you just said before. I don't know if you heard yourself, but you were like, no one feels sorry for her. She got $30 million.
Right.
So like, what are your thoughts, or what do you think the bigger picture thoughts are about people who take money, but they were abused? And so should they keep quiet, or like, what is your whole thought on that?
Well, they're more than welcome to not be quiet and speak up, but the public opinion and jurors' opinions will make it different. They'll go, look, jurors are upset they're losing money at their job to make whatever they give you in court. What is it, $40 a day? Whatever.
I think it's $43. Wait, you don't think they're so excited to be there on this trial?
No. I mean, they look, you and I love gossip. Most of these people, a jury of your peers, it's like they don't even know the things we know about this industry. So they're just listening.
That's so true. And by the way, I've been on a grand jury. People don't have hair. They don't have, like, not as in bald. Like, they don't take care of themselves. They don't have teeth. They don't know how to complete a sentence.
Right.
It's like, they're not really a jury of your peers. But okay.
They're not. I mean, I have a podcast where I'll post a picture of Selena Gomez and a friend, and there's 2 lines of Coke on the table, and I'll go, everybody in Hollywood does Coke. And my listeners will go, who are these girls? I'm like, you listen to my show. People don't really know. They're not obsessed with celebrity as we are.
Yeah.
But look, the NDAs are a great tool for these monsters to operate under, like Harvey Weinstein, et cetera. And by the way, really quick, I sent Harvey Weinstein an email. I went through his PR person, because everything that Candace Owens is saying now on her show, I don't know if you've heard it, because she spoke to Harvey. Everything he's saying to her, I said to my listeners back in 2018. There's nothing new about this, but Candace thinks she's got exclusives. She's got nothing. So I said,
what is she saying?
It's all the same shit. Harvey's saying it's consensual. This didn't happen. That didn't happen. It's like, just because she got him on the phone doesn't mean that you broke a story.
Right.
I've known everything from the jump. And I sent Harvey the email just to say, in other words, look, I had to protect myself because my name was mentioned. That crazy story about him raping chicks and me helping him. It wasn't about that. I helped him years before that with an affair against his wife. Not about raping girls, but the public just doesn't get it. But NDAs, as Harvey Weinstein had many people sign, is such a powerful tool for them to get away with murder. And that's what Diddy demanded from people. But look, girls like his assistant, Candace Capricorn, great fucking name, Candy Capricorn. She was with him for years, made a lot of money, and he would shove her, slap her, made her life miserable. But why did she work for him for a decade and a half? Because there's money, there's parties, there's influence. You meet the world. I don't think
people understand how intoxicating for someone who is not famous, and they're all of a sudden in this world. And not only are they just part of it, going to parties, they are the gatekeeper for the most famous person in that group. And that makes them feel very powerful. And without that identity, they are no one. And I really don't think people understand that. So they deal with all the abuse because they know they'll be replaced. And they want the money, they want the fame, they want the access, and they want to be the gatekeeper to that person. So I think it's very understandable when you know it from that angle why they stay.
And I'll give you an example. One of my best friends in life, dearest friends, is a girl named Rosemary Terenzio, who I knew for many years, but eventually she became John F. Kennedy Jr.'s right-hand man. Went with him everywhere, started George Magazine with him. For years, she was in his loft when his plane went down, and was hearing all the phone calls from big celebrities expressing their sorrow. She went through hell. She wrote 2 books about it, and she would tell me. And John was a dreamboat. She would say, "I can't work for anybody else. How can I get a job with anybody else after I was with John Kennedy Jr. for 12 years?" He wasn't abusive, but a lot of women who work with these big stars, whether it's Harvey or Diddy or whoever, it's like, my life's going to be a complete boring story. What do I do now? Work at 9 to 5 for some company in a cubicle? It's a hard switch.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, so following the case, I know you think that there's a chance he can get off, and the way you were presenting it, I mean, I kind of see it. What do you think that the defense has to really put on in the next week, couple weeks, whatever, to make things switch for them?
I think Cassie Ventura did a great job of helping the defense because she didn't really put him down too much. She's since been found out on trial to text him and email him how she was getting ready for the next freak off. What should I buy? What should I get? Who's coming? She helped the prosecution more than the defense. The defense, oh God. Well, look, cross-examination will tell a big story. So when that begins to happen, then we'll get a clearer picture. But right now, Diddy is ahead on points. And to me, right now, without cross, it looks like if he gets anything, it'll be 5 years and maybe he'll be out in 3. That's what it is right now. It could be explosive in a few weeks, but right now I don't see it being anything but a slap on the wrist.
And you probably would agree with me. The prosecution's gonna have to add someone in that's a bombshell, like someone who was 16 or a boy who was like underage and molested. And
you need that, or you need like Al B. Shore, the ex R&B singer who I've known for years. Look, when Bad Boy Records was founded, it was Puffy, Andre Harrell, Kim Porter, his ex-girl and mother of his kids, Heavy D, and Al B. Shore. Kim Porter died of pneumonia, no medicine on the night table, no cell phone on the night table, no medicine in the cabinet.
So crazy.
And I knew Kim. This is wrong. Heavy D, heart attack. Al B. Shore went into a coma for a long time and finally survived. Andre Harrell died of a heart attack. Al B. Shore came back to life. He has a great big story to tell. If he's called, that would be amazing because he's very angry at Puffy because he knows that all those people who began Bad Boy Records all either were writing books or making documentaries, and before those things came out, they were snuffed out. But Al B. survived. And if he gets involved, man, that would be the biggest thing for the prosecution. That would put Puffy away.
Do you think the only way he would speak is if he's subpoenaed?
Yeah. Well, I think he wants to speak. He's been speaking on podcasts and different outlets. I don't think he's afraid anymore. Al B. Shore was a friend of mine in New York back in the day, and he's a tough kid, tough man. I'd love to see him speak. If he does, then Diddy is going to face a big battle. Right.
But it's not like you said he's speaking on podcasts. I didn't know that, but he has to have evidence for them to actually call him.
Well, right? I don't think he has to have evidence, but if you know the story, look, he was there when the company was founded, so he knows a lot about Puffy. Yeah. And if they decide to call him, or if he wants to speak, then I think it'll be a big boost to the prosecution because he knows way too much. Okay. But we'll see. But yeah, an underage girl or boy, because apparently Puffy enjoyed both. Yeah. Well, that would be a huge story. I can't wait. It's going to be a great summer either way.
Yeah, I agree. Speaking of trials, have you been watching the Karen Reed trial?
Yeah, I saw the documentary on Netflix. She's the kind of chick that I would probably date back in the day because she's a mess and crazy, probably good in bed. And you go, oh, this girl's fuck. I got to get out of here. She's crazy. That's what she is. I think she probably wanted to hit him with the car for a second and then tried to not do it, but already did the damage. I think she definitely hit him with the car. I mean, she's nuts. And then she tells her friends, maybe I clipped him. Did I hit him? She's a crazy chick. I've had girlfriends like that. Great in bed, crazy in the head.
Good motto. That should be your next shirt.
I just made that up right now.
Love it. Write it down.
Yeah, I will. Great in bed, head, crazy in the head. Yeah, I'm going to write that down. It's a good one.
I'll give you a minute to do that.
I got it. Go ahead.
Change it out for thug life once in a while.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. I've had this guy Turtle Boy on my show twice now. He covers it nonstop. Like he's quit his job. He covers it. He's gone to the scene. He's recreated the car backing up. He's done everything. Cool. talks about it for 2 hours a night. Fascinating guy. And now he's friends with her. He talks to her on the phone all the time.
Oh,
so
wow.
it was great to have him on and listen to his side. He says 100% she's innocent because of the evidence, not because he likes her or anything.
Wow.
Even though it's very clear he would probably date her.
Yeah.
I do think, look, here's her problem. She's very unlikable. I think, she speaks way too much. She comes out, she walks out, she gives the media, a little tidbit of her thoughts, but she's not going to take the stand. I think that's doing her a lot of disservice. Right. I think she seems way too close to her lawyers. I'm convinced she's sleeping with them, one of them.
Yeah, I would agree. Yeah.
And I do not think, even though I dislike her, that she's a murderer. I don't think she meant to kill him if she did hit him. I think it was an accident. If she did hit him, I don't even think she knew she hit him. Or maybe she saw that she hit him and left, not thinking anything serious would happen.
I agree.
Or I do think it's plausible that there is such a huge cover-up with the Boston police that he did enter the house and something happened inside. They beat him up. They left him outside. Yeah. Again, I don't think they meant to kill him. I think they meant to kick the shit out of him, kick him outside the house, leave him in the snow like a big fuck you. And when he was dead, they were like, oh, fuck. So that's, I think there's all sorts of ways that could happen. What I don't understand, though, from that is how not one person has leaked. Not one person has cracked and said, okay, fine, he was in the house. Okay, fine, I saw him get beat up. But from what I hear, that family unit of the police department in Boston is so strong that no one would crack.
Everything you said, I believe 100%. Good job. The police protect their own to a point that people can't imagine. I mean, they just protect their own. The thin blue line is a real thing. You can't mess with them. And, you saw that turnout when he died. That's a hard bunch of people to go up against, no matter how cool or smart you think you are. Karen, you're right. She's hot. In my day, we called girls like that hot to trot. Like she wants to have fun. You can tell this chick is fun. If she's coming to the party, someone's getting a blowjob. She's just one of those chicks. On the roof, after midnight, keg party, go to Karen Reed. But like the Christmas party at work, she's giving the blowjob in the bathroom to Neil and accounting. That's the kind of chick she is. However, I don't think she wanted to kill him. I think it was a crime of passion. I think they were very much in crazy love, which can be hatred sometimes. Then it comes to, crazy. I've been there with chicks like that. Strangle you or make love to you. Flip a coin. I don't know. It could be either one tonight.
Right.
Okay. But the fact that the cops are protecting this and wrapped around and gathered around this guy, rallied around him, that's a tough bunch of people to beat. So I don't think she comes out of this in a great way. But I don't think she was a murderer or is a murderer either. I'm like you. Yeah. I think she'll have to pay for this in a small way. And then she'll come out with a show and a movie and a reality show and a deal. Like nowadays, you do your time, you come out. Hey, what do you want to do? Reality show? You want your own talk show? What do you want? Right. It's such a different world,
Wait, and on that topic, have you followed that Trump pardoned the Chrisleys?
Yeah, listen, my ex-wife loved that show, and I would go, what are you watching? Yeah. And I'd say, the guy's an absolute fag. No,
he's so gay. How does someone talk about that?
What else? Well, the reason why my ex-wife loved the show is a lot of girls like gay men. They think it's fun. They want to shop with him. No. Not you, but it's like...
I mean, I have plenty of gay friends that I love, but I'm not going to marry or date one.
But how does no one not see... This is a lie. He's not a straight man. He's got a this is bullshit. But the whole pardoning thing with Trump, was he friends with them before that? Did he know them?
I don't think so.
It's very weird. Look, he also pardoned Larry Hoover, the big drug dealer, for years, a week ago. I don't know what Trump's doing. I love Trump. I'm very happy he's president. But there's been some moves that I'm not really sure about. Yeah. I'm confused.
You're right, because, of course, they had a press conference today. I don't know if you saw. Only Todd, the husband, showed up. His wife, what's her name? Julie or something? She didn't show up. Which I wonder if they've showed her yet, because they both got out on the same day, different locations. I don't know. There's been a picture of her. I bet you she didn't. Oh, does she look the same?
the newspapers talk about her new look. She got a new look. I'm like, what's the big deal? She gained weight. She gained weight in prison.
I know.
And she changed her hairstyle. I don't get the new look. I don't know why
she became a lesbian in prison or something.
That's what I was going to say is she linked up with a lot of chicks, and those chicks, those lesbians in prison are worse than gang members, male gang members. They get a chick in their cell, they'll turn you out. You know, there are things you got to do in prison to just stay safe, and I don't doubt if she had to go down that street to stay safe in prison to begin with.
And she thought she was going to be there 17, 19 years, whatever.
Right.
So she got herself comfortable and a couple ladies. And she probably has, I don't know what her haircut looks like now, but
it's brown. It's a shit brown. The hairstyles are, it's like stupid. It's like,
I think that's why she didn't show up to the press conference, because she didn't need the whole world to see what she looked like.
Doesn't look good. No, I agree. Doesn't look good.
He announced, obviously, you know, his allegiance to MAGA, whatever.
Well, that's it. Yeah.
And the fact that they are going to be telling their truth in a new series. You know what I mean? So they're doing a new show, and he still says he's innocent, blah, blah, blah. And now we still have to watch the gay man and now the lesbian woman come back together and have a family, right?
I mean, that's a new show. That's never been on TV. Gay man, lesbian mom. Fantastic. Look, it'll be the Thursday night lineup will be P. Diddy will be trying to form a group again, but it'll be very nice. We'll have the Chrisleys, a gay husband, lesbian wife, and then we'll have the Menendez brothers as camp counselors and guys who want to make young kids. Look, it's a different world now. Even if you do time with the right lawyer and the right crisis management team around you, you'll be fine. You'll be set for life when you get out of prison. Podcasts, TV shows, consulting on movies. It's easy nowadays. You can stand on your head and do 5 years, and you'll be fine when you get out.
Right, exactly. All right, well, AJ, I could talk to you forever. Tell people where they could get your podcast, Fame as a Bitch.
I'm on every place you get podcasts. I do 5 days a week. I do Fame as a Bitch on Patreon. It's $7 a week. I raised the price from $5 after 8 years because the price of living has gone up. Eggs and gas, everything costs more. So I said, fuck this. Let's raise the price. It's ridiculous. Look, for the price of a cup of coffee, you need to be on Patreon. I've been there for 8 years. I do this for a living.
You're going to have to tell me how to do it. But yeah.
I will. Well, when you come into town, if you're around, if you have time, you said mid-June, you gave me the date.
In between Army Hammer, I'm going to come have dinner with you. You're going to teach me how to do it well.
I'm there.
Maybe you should come with me to that interview and just be my friend that drives me there.
Oh, my God. He wouldn't recognize me. I'd drive you there. I'd put a hat on. I'd put a fake mustache on.
Well, I'd do that for you. Why would he care if you were there? I wouldn't. Sit there and watch us do the interview.
He wouldn't care. I'd drive. Look at.
He's in Westwood now. He was in Venice. He's in Westwood.
I'll take you there. Kidding me?
Okay. All right,
Let me know.
Talk about it. That'll be fun.
All right,
I don't know that I should go alone.
No, I'll go with you.
Yeah. And I think Dan was going to go with me, but he might have a work thing. So I may
if he can, I'll go.
Okay, it'll be fun. You could be like my agent.
I will. Yeah, I'll be. Yeah, believe me, I'll protect you. Don't worry about it.
Okay, cool. So, all right. So people could get your podcast, Fame as a Bitch.
Anything
else going on in your life that our listeners need to know about?
I mean, I don't care. I host a poker show called High Stakes Poker for the last 15 years. It's on TV. You'll find it. For poker aficionados, it's a great show. Other than that, writing my third book about all my Los Angeles stories. That's going to be good. All my interactions with very famous people, which I'm very open about. And you know some of the stories, but we have a 2-hour dinner. You wouldn't believe the kind of stories I have with the people we know.
I can't wait to hear it.
Including Jillian, who I love.
Right.
But I got great stories about her too.
Amazing. All right. Well, maybe we'll invite her to that dinner too.
Oh, she'd be great.
Yeah, I love it. All right, we'll get on a group text. Anyways, I adore you. I'll see you in a couple of weeks. Thank you for doing the show. Mwah, much love.
Bye, sweetheart. I love you. Bye, honey.
Thank you so much for listening to Misunderstood. I'm your host, Rachel Yucatel. Please be sure to subscribe to the show and give us a 5-star rating and review. You can support the show by joining our Patreon at patreon.com/misunderstood with Rachel Yucatel. Do you have ideas for the show or want to reach out? Email us at info misunderstoodpodcast@gmail.com. That's spelled MISS understood. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next time.